Hi, my name is Daniel Sulzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion here on YouTube, and last year I made a video titled Project for Awesome. If you're not familiar with what Project for Awesome is, there's a link down below in the description. You can click that and you can read all about it. But Project for Awesome is essentially where YouTubers come together and talk about their favorite personal organizations, non-profit organizations, which either reach to help people, help animals, help people in other countries, whatever that is. Project for Awesome is where people share their charities that they want people to know about, that they want people to donate and contribute to. And like I did last year, although I was a day late last year, I am finally on time. Yay! No more procrastination! This is my Project for Awesome video. So last year I did an organization known as To Write Love on Her Arms, and I didn't really go into any detail regarding why I specifically chose that specific non-profit organization, and today's video is going to be why I choose To Write Love on Her Arms. To Write Love on Her Arms is a non-profit organization dedicated to reaching out to people with depression, suicide, self-harm, anxiety, eating disorders, and other such difficult things in their life. About 2 months ago, I attended a To Write Love on Her Arms Move conference, which To Write Love on Her Arms is based in Florida. But they flew all the way up to Seattle for a 2-day conference, which I had the privilege to attend. And it was really attending this conference where I got to even see more about what To Write Love on Her Arms stands for. And I got one of their little community handlight books, which goes all about anxiety, for example. They go self-injury, they go with eating disorders, they go with suicide. They deal with some very heavy topics which I've dealt with and talked about here on my channel. And one of the reasons I choose To Write Love on Her Arms is if you've been a viewer of mine for any amount of time. I made a video about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago, known as Mr. Epstein Rises. This video, Mr. Epstein Rises, is where I finally opened up on a public revenue of talking about what happened to me when I was 16 regarding being sexually assaulted. During that time, I'm not going to try to rehash the story. You can find it on my channel if you want to know more about it. But if it wasn't for To Write Love on Her Arms and the organization, I don't think I would have been able to cope and heal as easy as I did. Or I shouldn't say easy. I wouldn't have been able to heal as fast as I did if it wasn't for the organization To Write Love on Her Arms. The reason I say that is because I remember days after my sexual assault occurred at age 16 that I was suicidal, I was addicted to self-harm, but most of all, I didn't know how to cope with what I was feeling. And I remember when one of my friends recommended me To Write Love on Her Arms. I went to their website and I started watching a lot of their videos from people who had went through similar instances as me. One of the videos I remember watching was of a young girl who was repeatedly raped by her father. And at the end of the video, she basically read a note, a letter to her father, who was in jail or in prison. But she read a letter to him in a video, claiming that she has forgiven him for the things that he did to her in terms of violating her sexually. And it was at that time where I was deeply inspired, encouraged, along with talking to my therapist, to make my video Mr. Epstein Rises, basically talking about how to overcome sexual assault. I've dealt with a lot of heavy topics here on my channel, and the only reason I've dealt with these topics is because I want to help people with them, but also because of the organization To Write Love on Her Arms, because a lot of the topics I talk about, whether it be depression, whether it be sexual assault, whether it be abuse, are topics that are really not talked about within YouTube, because YouTube is really a website designed for entertainment purposes, and I don't even know how I want to say this. I don't want to be an entertainer here on YouTube. I mean, sure, I've done that in some of my content, but a lot of my videos focus around helping other people. And that's one of the reasons why I choose To Write Love on Her Arms, the organization that helped me when I was nearly suicidal and was the darkest time of my life. and I contribute part of my healing process to this organization here. And it's a non-profit organization. They make no money off of going to around different states and hosting conferences, teaching you how to reach out to victims of depression, how to reach out to people who've been sexually assaulted, how to reach out to people with eating disorders. And it's all designed about reaching out to other people who are going through very deep, hard struggles. And that's why I choose To Write Love on Her Arms. So down below in the description, there's a link that describes what To Write Love on Her Arms is all about, along with a donation link if you would like to contribute to Write Love on Her Arms. I do. I have bracelets, I have several of their shirts I've worn in videos. I actually donate every month to this organization, non-profit organization known as To Write Love on Her Arms. So that's why I choose this organization for Project for Awesome. Thank you for watching. My name is Mr. Epstein, and I hope to be still making videos next year for you guys, and hopefully throughout that time more content will come out on heavy topics which need to be talked about that will hopefully help you and help me along the process. Thank you.